Hello everyone, welcome to Front-End Practice. Today we are going to discuss CSS positioning, an important topic that every developer should be familiar with. To illustrate 5 different CSS properties, I have set up a simple example. Let's begin with default positioning that all HTML elements have when they first appear on the page. To see this, click to Inspect, go to the Computed section and search for Position property, which should be set to static. So, what does static mean? It means that whatever element comes first in our HTML code, like child number 1, will be positioned above child number 2, and so on. The next position property is relative. It's similar to static position, but allows you to change the top, bottom, left and right positions of the element. However, it's not commonly used for this purpose. Let's add position relative to the first child. As you can see, nothing changed, except we can move it. You should remember that it's moving in opposite direction. If we move element to the right, we should add left. And when we move it to the bottom, we add top. Next position is absolute. That one as position relative gets used with top, left, right and bottom. Let's put an absolute to child 4. As you can see, the document actually completely ignores this element right here. Position absolute removes the element from the document flow. Let's try to move child 4 to the right bottom corner of the parent. It moved to the right bottom of the document, but we want to parent. We should add position relative to the parent, because absolute relative to position relative. And if it doesn't find it, it's related to the body. Now it works as expected. What else can we do with absolute? Expand the link. Let's add a link in child 3. As you can see, pointer is only on link now. Let's add styles. As you already know, we should add position relative to link's parent. It works, but it looks bad, because absolute removes link from the document flow. To achieve our goal, we can use pseudo element after. This pseudo element can add content next to our link. Let's add after content and comment absolute and place something in content. As you can see, content appeared next to link. Okay. Delete extra content and uncomment absolute. Great, it works as expected. Allow me to present to you some fascinating examples sourced directly from real websites. Go ahead and open Google, and once you are there, inspect the button I will guide you to. They have utilized absolute positioning for this particular button, strategically opting out of the document flow. Now, let us embark to a quest to locate its parent element. As anticipated, it's position relative. And guess what happened if we toggle it? This button will relocate itself to another parent element with position relative. Here is another example for you. If you open up the New York Times website, you'll notice the link is cover the entire blog. Right click and select Inspect. After that, locate to the after, and you will find the same method to expand the link. If we remove absolute, the link disappeared from the image. Now let's make sure that there is a position relative on the parent. As anticipated, if we remove this position, we will see how the link has stretched the entire page. That's why it's very important to understand how the absolute is related to position relative. The next position is position fixed. It works similarly to position absolute, because we can use property like top, bottom, right and left. However, position fixed is relative to the viewport, so it always stays in the same place even if the page is scrolled. Now let's add styles to the second child. When we scroll, it will be fixed on the top right corner. However, you may wonder why it's positioned under the fourth child. This is when we need to understand the concept of z-index. Z-index allows us to control the layering order in HTML document. It can only be used with positioned elements. To see the default value of z-index, you can click on Inspect, then Computed, and search for z-index. It sets to after, which means the last element in HTML will be on top of the previous one. To make sure, we move child 2 after child 4. Now it on top. You can change it back and use z-index. If you want it to be under the parent, you can use a negative value, like -1. It works. Let's change it back to 1. Lastly, there is position sticky. Let's add position sticky. Nothing changed, because we need to specify where it should stick. Let's say top 10 pixels. It behaves similarly as position fixed, but it sticks to the screen until it meets the border of the parent's block. Let's take a look at another example. Here the header has fixed position and z-index of 200. When you scroll, it becomes positioned underneath the next block. This is because I have used position sticky with a larger z-index. And it looks really cool. Also, they have fixed this off at the bottom. In summary, we use absolute position when we don't want an element to be a part of a document flow, like in this search or menu. We used fixed position when we want an element to stay in place, and sticky positioning when we want it to stick in place while scrolling.